Welcome back to Inside Assemble AI's another episode of AI in Finance series. This is Sam.
Hi guys, it's Mac Goswami. Today we are tackling AI fraud detection, and I need to start with a stat that should terrify everyone. Over 50% of fraud now involves AI. FIDZY surveyed 562 fraud professionals globally, and what they found is that AI-powered fraud has become the norm, not the exception. We are talking about deepfakes, synthetic identities, and AI-powered phishing that's so sophisticated that it's basically indistinguishable from legitimate communications. But here is the counterpunch. 90% of the banks are now using AI to fight back, essentially fighting fire with a fire. Welcome to episode AI Fraud Detection.
I really like the way you ended your last statement, fighting fire with fire. And to be honest with you, the adoption timeline is remarkable, which our listeners should know. For 67% of financial institutions integrated AI fraud detection in just the past 2 years alone. This is the fastest adoption of any banking technology in history, which tells you how urgent the threat has become. The days of obvious phishing emails with broken English and Nigerian princes are long gone. No disrespect to any community, but that's happened. That's a reality. Today's scams come with perfect grammar, realistic clone voices, and even videos of people who have never existed. So as a consumer, how do you even distinguish whether it's a fraud emails or real email? It's a real issue. And that's why we are using AI to solve that.
Absolutely, Sam. And before deep diving further, I just want to call out for my listeners that please subscribe to our channel, Assemble AI. Please check our newsletter as well from Substack, and also put us a review. Let us know that is there any other episodes that you would like to listen. Also, if you're interested in finance, we also had another episode, AI in stock prediction. Go and then give us feedback. Appreciate it. Now let's go for the examples. And I would like to start with painting a picture of what the threat landscape actually looks like now. Deepfakes are the nightmare scenario that keeps security teams up at night. You get a phone call that sounds exactly that your bank's fraud department, that using your bank's actual phone number because it's been spoofed. The voice is perfect and the script is professional. They're asking for your PIN and your card number to verify your identity. In California, one bank's customers received dozens of these calls and may fell for it because the technology is that convincing. So what do you think, Sam? How do the banks actually defend against something that's so sophisticated?
Well, that's the kind of question that can keep anyone awake whole night, right? And the
Absolutely.
answer is behavioral analytics at a skill that wasn't possible before AI. The system establishes a baseline of normal customer behavior for each individual account holder. It's not just tracking whether a transaction is large or unusual in isolation. It's tracking whether this transaction is unusual for this specific customer at this specific time. So you really had to go down to that granular level. Any deviation from established patterns, unusual transaction times, amounts that don't fit historical spending, locations that don't match travel patterns, and all of this triggers real-time alerts that get reviewed immediately. Now think about that. If there's a data scientist or statistician listening to this episode, it's really difficult for a human statistician to run all this pattern recognition or all this kind of analytics using an automated process. Doesn't matter how sophisticated that is. That's where AI comes in, because AI can do that real-time analysis in much faster way, helping us to do a real-time fraud detection. We couldn't have thought of it like a 5-10
Right.
years back, but AI paving the way to help us with these fraud detection issues. And honestly, it's been actually pretty good, because I've been a customer of a lot of large multinational bank, and I do have a multiple accounts, and I do see these fraud detection mechanisms got sophisticated really well in last 2 to 3 years, and that's mainly because of the advent of AI in that area.
Absolutely. Sam. And, and I can deep dive further, like what could be the scale for this operation. And this is astonishingly staggering. Like the DBS Bank in Singapore processes 1.8 million transactions per hour using AI systems. That's 30,000 transactions per minute. There is absolutely no way human analysts could monitor that volume. The AI is doing real time risk scoring on each and every one of those transactions using advanced algorithms and behavioral analysis to detect suspicious patterns. It's automatically flagging unusual activities, analyzing cross border transaction patterns, and assigning risk scores faster than any human team could ever achieve. One of the things is that since I am also in the financial sector as well, and we need to deal also with a lot of frauds and disputed data, and we also have a risk coding mechanism. Even 2 years from last 2 years to now, that I have seen that we dealt with millions and millions of records for the to just to validate the risk coding patterns. And we literally had a lot of people, like we have a separate team as a risk analyst, just to go over. There is so many manual process, like even 2 3 years back. And now we are eventually streamlining all those mechanisms, and we are coming up to how we can just use our own LLM, and which can be even involved to implement to finalize this scoring pattern. And the result is purely game changing. And I think we still need human intervention. But I think in next couple of years, the way it is going, the way that we are going to scale it up, I think in just next couple of years, I think, it will be fully automated.
Yeah, I mean, this is really fascinating. And thanks, Mac, for sharing additional insights for our listeners. Now, let's break down what what kinds of like fraud AI is actually detecting, right? I mean, listeners would like to understand that in a more
Right.
detailed manner. So I would mention that one of the main fraud detection mechanism is transactional fraud accounts. 39% of AI use cases where we've seen that like the traditional unauthorized charges are not present fraud or even account takeovers. Those are kind of flagged under a transactional fraud category. Another aspect is scam detection, which is also one of the biggest categories at 50%. Because this is where those deepfakes and social engineering attacks come in. And lastly, the anti-money laundering represents 30% of use cases. Those are the three fraud detection cases that AI usually leverage to tackle, and they each require different approaches, even though they're all powered by the same underlying AI technology. But the mechanisms, the pattern recognition systems are different. Now, what I wanted to know more from you, Mac, is that what AI does is cut through that noise by identifying actual patterns of money laundering and how they kind of like making sure that it's not, what's the kind of a mechanism to kind of like, to make sure that, those anti-money laundering cases are not superficially look similar. Okay, if you can just walk us through that, then that'll be great.
Great question, Sam. So anti-money laundering, it's always been a manual nightmare for banks, and there is no easy way to address this, right? I mean, there are so many processes involved, so many case studies that we had to walk through. Traditional systems generated massive false positive rates because they were based on rigid rules, and that couldn't account for legitimate business patterns that might look suspicious on paper. HSBC's AI system dramatically improved their AML detection capabilities while simultaneously streamlining operations and reducing the compliance burden. So the challenge with AML has always been that investigating false alerts generates that enormous amounts of expensive, time consuming compliance work. So, we definitely need to have specialized analysts reviewing all those transactions that ultimately turn out to be completely legitimate. And and then what AI does is cut through that noise by, I mean, as you mentioned earlier, by by identifying the actual patterns for money laundering, right? So I think I think between another example, between international wire transfer that are part of the normal business operations versus the structured transaction designed to avoid any reporting requirements, and the AI gets better at making those distinctions over time as it processes more data and learns from analyst feedback, and which is not even possible like a few years back.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess one more thing I wanted to point out here, and that also have become a little bit of prevalent
Hmm.
factors in terms of fraud detection in recent years. Back in the days when it comes to fraud detection, if we just want to paint the picture, we would think about someone, a human being, on the other
Hmm.
side of the phone trying to, just mimic someone else's voice or trying to play as an imposter, right? But now, after the advent of generative AI that happened like a few years back, we started seeing that generative AI also playing a crucial role in creating entirely fake identities and then using that fake identities to play an imposter for fraud detection practices. So now that's a very tricky scenario, right?
Right.
So now you need to think that how does I fight AI generated synthetic identities? Because
Right.
on the bank side, you have an AI enabled system doing that fraud detection work, and it's kind of given a task to detect AI frauds on the other side of the phone, right?
Uh-huh.
So how do we do that, right? And that's a really big issue at this moment, just for our listeners' sake. So the only way we could do that is the same fundamental concept through pattern recognitions across multiple data points and historical consistency checks. Real identities have certain patterns and consistencies that develop over time. Just to put this thing into perspective, 35-year-old should have credit history going back at least 10 to 15 years. Address history should correlate with employment history and
Right.
history,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Social security numbers have issuance patterns based
Right.
on birth year and so on and so forth. So there's always been a pattern, and we can still train our AI fraud detection model to track that. Doesn't matter whether an AI or a human being running that fraud practices on the other
Uh-huh.
side, right? So, Mac, I would like to know more about it. If you can elaborate further for our listeners on this topic.
Yeah, I would definitely add one more point, and that will be very interesting: how to address the elephant in the room. This is an arm race. I mean,
Mhm.
fraudsters are using AI, banks are using AI. Then who is going to win actually? And the end of the day. So right now, banks are catching up rapidly after being behind for a couple of years. But the
Mhm.
fundamental dynamic is that like this is perpetual. I mean, there is no final victory. As bank AI systems get smarter and better at detection, fraud AI will evolve to try to evade those detection systems as well. So it's like computer viruses and antivirus software. It's a never ending cycle of evaluation and counter evaluation.
Mhm.
So the economic stakes are enormous. For example, Deloitte estimates that US banking losses from fraud could increase from 12 to 12.3 billion in 2023 to 40 billion by 2027, and largely driven by the sophistication that generative AI brings to fraud. That's more than tripling in just 4 years, which is precisely why 90% financial institutions are deploying AI solutions. The cost of not deploying AI defenses is far higher than the cost of implementing them. This is not optional anymore for banks and want to survive.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. And thanks, Mac, for adding more context around this because this is a real issue. But since we are getting closer to the business end of this episode, I wanted to emphasize on one more thing, which is very important for our listeners, especially someone who are from the banking sectors.
Mm.
Human oversight remains essential. Yes, you hear me right. 88% of banking professionals say human oversight is non-negotiable in their
Right.
AI fraud detection systems. The AI identifies potential issues and surfaces them to human analysts. But humans make the final call on complex or borderline cases. And here is an interesting benefit. 43% of institutions report increased efficiency within their fraud teams,
Mhm.
especially because AI handles the high volume, straightforward cases, freeing up human experts to focus on the complex nuanced cases that actually require human judgment and contextual understanding. This is a massive win because at the
Right.
end of the day, you are taking away those mundane fraud detection tasks and giving it to AI, where the human, the statistician or fraud detection analyst can focus on the complex stuff. And that's where we see the major impact that AI bringing in at this moment, especially in the AI fraud detection area. What do you think, Mac? Just to wrap up this session, if you have any final thoughts on this one, especially if you can share something, what we can look ahead to 2026 and beyond in fraud detection area.
Absolutely, especially like for 2026 and beyond, I think we are going to see that several trends accelerate, more real time detection capabilities as processing speeds continue to improve, more cross industry intelligence sharing where financial institutions pool anonymized fraud data to identify patterns that span multiple organizations, and significantly more AI versus AI combat at the deepfake level. Voice authentication system powered by AI that can detect AI generated voice clones, right? And that's actually very important to note. Video verification that can identify synthetic video. Multi-factor biometric authentication that uses AI to detect what another AI is trying to be fake, being human. But and for the consumer side, the
Mhm.
practical takeaway is that your bank is monitoring your transactions, not to spy
Yeah,
on you, but to protect you.
definitely. Yeah.
And there is a fundamental difference from the banking side and from the consumer side. So let's wrap this session up. Thanks for listening to Assemble AI. Next episode, we are examining AI in compliance and regulatory reporting, turning what's traditionally been a cost center into a potential competitive advantage. Until next time, keep grinding, keep listening, and keep learning once again. Thank you so much.
Thank you.